Hi, I'm Life Coach Landry, and the topic is 7 things that unloved daughters long for. Now, I have a email from a subscriber from Austin, Texas, and she says, Coach, I've been dating for over 8 months, and I came out of a long-term relationship that was over 7 years. And what I notice now that I'm a little bit past that, I've been a year out of it, is that a lot of the men I've dated, including the man I was with for 7 years, I think I dated for the wrong reasons. I have a strained relationship with my father since a divorce when I was younger, and I think this has a lot to do with it. Can you confirm some of this information so in the future maybe I can date a little bit better? Great question. In psychology, there is a ton of studying on women and fathers and the effects on dating. Unfortunately, a lot of women make a ton of mistakes because of their relationship with their father. So I'm going to try to give you 7 things that you long for, and I'm going to try to tell you some of the pitfalls and how to avoid it and how to meet a good man. Unfortunately, let me start off with the bad so then I can end with the good. But unfortunately, women typically in the very beginning often are attracted to the wrong kinds of men. After about 27 to about 35, they make the most mistakes in their dating life. What happens is, because of that strained relationship that you have with your father, you end up choosing men who compensate for their shortcomings with lots and lots of love. And to you, that equals what I would say is number one on the 7 things, a sense of belonging. You start thinking that that man is good for you because of everything he's trying to love you with. Unfortunately, men, if you watch my other videos, they typically do these things or they go overboard with things. It's not that a man can't be loving, but that they go overboard and they're always doing it. And what you'll notice is they have kind of a prideful switch, right? So let's say in your case, she put some details about their situation. I won't read all of them, but she put that she lived with him, she moved out, and he was very prideful about when she was moving out, like, well, I guess it's better this way anyways, and saying things like that to her. That's because he's masking who he was the whole time, and in bad situations, you got to see his true character. She also goes on to say that after they broke up during her new relationships, he constantly harassed her. That is because men like that. If you ever watched the movie, and I'm sure if you're watching this and you're a woman, you have 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Free. Christian Grey is the intelligent, stable, strong, always the same man type. And the guy who's chasing her, and he started off charming and whatnot, and they had a past relationship and things like that. But what you'll notice is he got darker as time went on because he wasn't getting what he wanted. Okay, men who really love you and want to be with you, yeah, they have signs of small jealousy, and they can be aggressive in nature. But you'll notice they're not aggressive in nature that sacrifices who you are. They're not over pursuers. They don't get nasty. They don't communicate to people outside of your relationship trying to win you back. They don't try to go to the new men that you're dating and threaten them. Men don't do that when they're confident in who they are. So what I'm getting to by this is these are the type of men you attract when they know you need lots of love, because they know how to take advantage of it, and it also helps them mask who they really are. And what you can probably usually do is just ask a man a couple of key questions. Like she said, she was with this guy for 6 going on 7 years before they split. Yeah, and she's your typical case. She's your typical got with a man. He showed her all the love in the world. She met him at a club. Wrong avenue. Bars, clubs, gyms, bad places to meet people, right? They go there with I like to drink once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. I like to go to the bar. I like to be hanging out and drink. Anytime a man needs to be surrounded by drinks and constant social activity like that and whatnot, that is a bad sign for your future, okay? Women, listen to me when I say that. Don't date men you meet in bars. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're together 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 20 years. It will end, and it will end bad. And if you try to reattract or get back with those people when all else fails, it will happen again. Okay. Number 2 would be validation of her thoughts and feelings. Until she is fully healed or worked on herself or met the right man, you're going to have some deep validity and insecurities and perceptions of the world. Even when things look good or people talk to you and you look happy and whatnot, they're still inside of you and you're still practicing them and you don't realize it, unfortunately. What's the number 3 would be true self-confidence. Okay, this is something else you long for. Self-confidence will only come from when you meet a very stable man who has higher intelligence than you are and you respect. Okay, the biggest thing that women fell in is a lack of respect with the man they're with, but they stay with him because they are longing for love because of what they didn't get from their strained relationship with their father. So they stay with men they shouldn't because they just want to keep consistent love coming towards them since they're not getting it from the place they should. Their father figure, the male role model for all men they should be with. Okay. It doesn't mean that they don't like everything about their father. It means that the wrong men will get in these women's lives, or in your case, your life, because of what your father doesn't or no longer provides what you need in that sense. Okay. Number 4 is she will seek emotional balance. Okay. This is what I call the Goldilocks problem. One of the largest deficits experienced with women and mothers are they completely ignore signals and emotional regulation, and they will go with whatever just constantly makes them feel like I'm going to hold you at night. I'm going to love you again. That whole yada, yada, yada. There are good men and there are bad men who do the exact same kind of loving behaviors. Okay. When I say bad men, that doesn't mean they have a bad soul or anything like that. It just means they're up to no good. They always have been, and they got lucky when they got you, and they're masquerading constantly throughout their life. And you're seeking emotional balance. And what you'll find is when they try to get you to commit or move in with them or come back to the relationship you had with them, if it's an ex, you will always feel uncomfortable. That's how you know you're not getting your emotional balance. Okay. Number 5 is she will seek her parents' love again. It's hard to overstate the power of this primal instinct. It's hardwired need. It doesn't seem to have an expiration date throughout your life, even when you're adults. And it isn't a rational longing, of course. It's an absolute kind of, what I once couldn't have. Why can't I have it? And I'm going to keep it's almost like you become the parent with your parent. You start lecturing them about not doing what you need and what's right. And why aren't you communicating? How come when I call you, you only stay on the phone with me for 10 minutes? Like when I've been longing for you because I'm trying to gain emotional balance. Okay. Number 6 would be, you're scratching your head because you're trying to make sense of the past. And disconnect it from the present. And this is what they long for, but this is one of their biggest struggles. They're trying to make sense of their past, both their men, their father, the men they've dated, the long-term relationships, the men that keep popping back up from their past, but they're also trying to disconnect it from the present because they're trying to move on. And unfortunately, these type of women are baited very easily back into love that's toxic. Because again, even when it's like the news, right? Even though it's bad news to them, it's good news. Even though someone's saying things or trying to guilt you and manipulate you back, it's still a sense of love to you because they're paying attention to you constantly. Another pitfall, okay? But number 7, something they really long for is confirmation of how she's changed. And this is usually when they can let go of their past, let go of their ex-boyfriends, let go of the fact that they can't do anything about that relationship with their father. They need to build their own new chapter in their life, okay? So after you've gone through a really bad breakup, after you've done a lot of these things, many unloved daughters or strained relationships with fathers remain burdened. It's real, recognition that she's no longer trapped by those things anymore. She's met a new man. And to your email, a new man would be someone who's consistent, who's strong-natured, who's highly intelligent, who likes to have deep conversation with you about things, not about you two, but about life, not about marriage and just having kids and whatnot, because that's in the other partner's self-interest when they talk about those things. So if you're sitting there saying, oh, we talk about life and whatnot, that's not the same thing. It's somebody who can talk to you about all aspects of life, okay, like everything, and sit on the phone for you for 3 or 4 hours, and you can just talk and talk and talk and talk. I've had those type of relationships, and they're very special to me. Granted, I can end up falling asleep by the end of a phone call that long. But the fact is, I hung in there for as long as I can. And men who want to be with you, they're the types that if you pick up the phone, you call them, and you haven't talked to them in 6 months, you two just, bam, right back into it. But about life, not about them and they want to be with you and whatnot. That's not the same thing. Those men are usually just manipulating back into their agenda. And so it's real important that you recognize in the beginning when you're dating after your exes or your past or whatever's going on, is that you have to give the new men you meet a chance to flourish. And you can't do that if you hold on to anything from your past, whether it be with your father, whether it be you're looking at him like you look at your father, whether it's an ex-boyfriend still hanging around, whether it's a ex-relationship that still bothers you just for memory's sake, not even interaction's sake. You have to let go of your past. It's the only way new men in your life are going to have a future with you. Okay. And it's the only way you are going to grow as a person. And trust me, when you meet new people, you know it because your intuition is you start putting them as a priority. You start wanting to see them more often. You don't like the idea of them not being around. When you fight, even if you know it's your fault, you still want to say, hey, it's my fault. What can I do to get back in this with you? Okay. What can I do? And one of the things she had asked is she said she was dating a new guy who she really liked and she got in a fight and she thinks it was because of her past with males that got in the way. And I would say if you still want to be with that man, even if he has fallen off the grid, you have to do grand gestures. Go do something that shows him. But the number one thing I always tell women when I coach them when they want to get some man back that they hurt or some man that they should have worked things out with, but something got in the way like an ex or they had a bad moment in their life that fell through that they end up not paying enough attention. You have to be consistent in your effort to get them back. If they see you do it for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then you just kind of go mellow again, they're not going to believe you've actually changed or that you really want to put an effort in there. But I get a lot of emails from women who I can tell, even though we're not talking about this subject, that they are trying to heal from a toxic relationship in their life that is still trying to probably currently pull them back, and that they have strained relations with their father. And it's not always apparent because they don't say it, but being the type of person I am and talking to them over time, I can completely recognize it when I see it. And the good news is if these 7 things apply to you, you just need to keep working towards them. Okay. And if you do that, you're going to find some salvation. But the number one, or I would say the best 2 out of the 7 is to make sense of your past, put your past in the past and disconnect it from your present, and then make, kind of confirm how you've changed, because it'll keep you from going back to your past when you confirm how you've moved on in your life. Okay. So I hope this helps you. And if you want to work with me, this subject is personal to you, then you can work with me personally on it by contacting me at the email below. And if you just want to see a video that you haven't seen this far, I tell everybody, hey, it's that time of the year. Leave comments down below. And if I see something of interest, my team will scan through it. And, I want you guys, I love helping people. Okay. And there's a lot of free information that I can give you guys, even if you're not a subscriber that goes to my paid sessions. I still want to help you if I can. So leave your comments below on anything that bothers you, and I will try to address it. And if you want me to read your information on one of my segments, just put that in your info when you do it, and I'll try to do that for you. Okay. So again, I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.